This video is sponsored by Skull & Co. So after getting a sense of where Nintendo is at and what they like to do with their anniversary games, I want to take a look at something a little bit different in this video, and not the Breath of the Wild 2s we may get, or Twilight Princess HDs. But what I really want to talk about is the spin-offs, the weird stuff, the stuff nobody thought we would get, but even with the Mario 35th anniversary, we got some of that stuff. So I've got 4 I want to talk about in this video. One of them's probably gonna happen. 2 of them, maybe. The last one, probably my favorite one, isn't going to happen, but if it did, I bet it would be one of Nintendo's top sellers in 2021. What's up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a favor. Jump down in the description, click the link to our Discord. You can meet up with us there after this video. So with the Mario 35th anniversary, we did see a lot of pretty cool spin-offs, and I think for Zelda's 35th anniversary, we are going to see a few more of the same. Now, obviously not exactly the same, but 2 of the big surprises we got for the Mario 35th anniversary was Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which I don't think anybody saw coming. There were no leaks for it. Nobody had any idea that we were getting that. And we'll touch on some stuff I think may take the place of that later in the video. But another one we got was obviously Super Mario 35, which is essentially the original Mario game in a battle royale style against 34 other people, hence the 35 in the name. You know, 35th anniversary, 35 players. It works. It's just like Tetris 99, but it's just based on Mario instead of Tetris, obviously. And I think as far as spin-offs go, that's probably something we should be prepared to see. I think we are gonna see a Zelda 35 of some sort. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but the best thing that I could come up with, if they stick with what they've been doing and they go with the original Zelda game. I was thinking they could kind of take the same general principle of Mario 35 where you're getting enemies from other people and you're sending your enemies to them when you defeat them. But instead of just going through levels, maybe you would be trying to get to the different squares. You know how in Zelda, the squares move over. Maybe you would have to fight off these enemies and solve some type of little Zelda puzzle as you're doing it to get to the next square. Things like, light these torches in the right order or move the right block. Little things like that that would just open up a gate, and as you're doing that, you're being attacked by enemies. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think it would take the original idea of what Mario 35 and Tetris 99 are and just add a whole nother gameplay element just to make it that much more difficult. You're kind of focusing on 2 different things at once, not only trying not to die and killing the enemies, but also trying to solve a puzzle at the same time, which obviously is what Zelda's all about. So I think it would work pretty well that way, but I'm sure there are way better ideas out there, and you may have one. So if you do, leave it in the comments because I do want to hear about that. Before we get any further, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skull & Co, and tell you about their brand new grip case crystal. I've been using the Switch Lite version of this case since it came out, and I am so happy to now have a version for my full-size Switch. The case is made from a soft TPU material, which provides solid protection while at the same time being very easy to get on and off. It also does come with 3 sets of replaceable grips, which are not only ergonomic and comfortable, but they will fit a variety of different hand sizes. The grips are not only very easy to switch out, but they also come in a ton of different colors to match whatever set of Joy-Cons you're rocking at the moment. The grip case crystal also comes with the max carry case, which is not only going to be able to hold the Switch with whatever set of grips you have attached to it, but it's also going to be able to hold all your accessories, your games, all kinds of extra stuff. And I already know the other question that you're asking, and the answer is yes. The Switch will fit inside of the max carry case with not only the grip attached, but also with the Skull & Co audio stick Bluetooth adapter attached, no problem. So if you want to pick up the grip case crystal or the audio stick, or both, by clicking that link and using the code at checkout, DripMedia15, you are gonna be able to get 15% off your order, but make sure you guys do not wait too long to do this because this offer is only going to be going on for 5 days. So from the day this video goes up to 5 days later. So once again, guys, click the link below, use the code DripMedia15 at checkout for 15% off, and thank you once again to Skull & Co for sponsoring this video. Now, like I said, I think that's probably the most likely spin-off we're gonna see from Nintendo for the Zelda 35th anniversary, but I don't think it's the only one. Now, the next one I wanna talk about, we've heard some things about, but there's not enough information out there to even make this a rumor. So while this one, probably of the next 3, is the most possible, still really up in the air. But what I'm talking about is a Zelda Dungeon Maker. Now, I don't think I need to explain a lot about what this would be. We've seen Nintendo do their Mario Maker, Mario Maker 2, and the first one was an online phenomenon. People played it so much, building levels, sharing levels. It really caught on very quickly, and the second one did too, just not quite as much as I thought it might, but it did. Mario Maker 2 was massive, and at this point, they've taken that game so far that you can build full-size Mario games in it, not just individual levels. So it shows you the dedication that they have to the series of being able to make certain things like that. They've added a ton from the first one to the second one. A lot of stuff people wanted in the first one that maybe should have been there, probably easy to put in. But you can see they really do value that franchise, the Mario Maker franchise. And I think Zelda, not only being one of their biggest franchise, also fits the Maker style of game very, very well. Maybe eventually they could take it to an entire overworld where, you know, you could put all your dungeons into, you know, your own Zelda game essentially. But I think maybe Zelda Dungeon Maker 1 will probably be just that. Just dungeons. And like I said, we have seen them mess around with this idea. Link's Awakening, the remake we just got on the Switch, actually has a small sort of dungeon maker in it. The only big issue with that one is you can't make any of your own rooms. You can't use any rooms other than rooms from the dungeons that are in the game. So there's nothing really customizable about it, except the fact that you're putting the rooms in, you know, certain orders and making puzzles and stuff out of that. Now, things to add on that are very obvious with this. Your own rooms, your own puzzles. Maybe they could have some pre-made rooms that have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 that go with it that are all a part of one puzzle. And it would be a little bit easier for someone who, you know, maybe is new to trying to make things like that and the way that Zelda puzzle works. It would give them kind of a template to build off of next time when they try to make their own. But again, like I said, a lot of classic Zelda stuff can be implemented in this. You know, light the torches, kill all the enemies, you know, get the key, get the item, whatever it is, whatever you would need to do to progress in the dungeon, they could put all of that in there and it would work very, very well. In my opinion, I think what they did with Link's Awakening was to set up a game like this. I think this is something we are definitely going to get at some point, whether it comes or not this year, you know, with development issues and, you know, everything that's been going on. Maybe we won't get it this year, maybe we will. But I do think a game like this is coming. It's just too perfect. Zelda works very, very well, I think, with the Maker style of game. Okay, now the last 2 in this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now. They're probably not gonna happen, but I think both would probably be very well received, and the last one, I'm telling you, wait till the last one, because I'm really excited about that. I really wish Nintendo would make it, but they're probably not going to. Anyway, the next one I want to talk about is the possibility of a Zego game. The next one I want to talk about is the possibility of a Lego Zelda game. Now, we've seen fan art, we've seen, you know, people even make their own Legend of Zelda minifigures, castles, we've seen a lot of stuff. So we know the want is there, but if Nintendo's actually going to go ahead and do something like this is a whole nother story. Now, we do know they are working with Lego. They made not only the Mario sets, but they also made the 35th anniversary Nintendo set with the little TV that has Mario. You know, I've got it back here somewhere, but we know they are working together, so it's a possibility. This Lego Zelda game could have been in development for years, and we just don't know about it. But as of right now, there is no hard evidence to say that we're gonna be getting something like this at all. But again, looking around online and just asking some people in Discord, it looks like something like this would be very, very well received, and I'd love to see Nintendo take a crack at it. I think a game like this could go several different ways. Now, obviously, being a Lego game, you're gonna get that humor. All the Lego games have that little bit of humor about them, you know? The Jurassic Park games, the Batman games, obviously, you know, the Harry Potter games, all have a little bit of humor, which is fine. You know, we come to expect that from Lego at this point. But I think a Lego game based off of The Legend of Zelda has to be different. It can't be the same experience that we've had in a lot of these Lego games, because it is getting a little bit old. But it sounds like the newer Lego games are starting to get a little bit different. From what I've heard about the Skywalker saga, there's gonna be a lot of different stuff involved in this game that hasn't been in past Lego games. And something that actually is in Lego games that would fit very well with the Zelda franchise is puzzles. There's always little puzzles in Lego games, and obviously, I mean, Zelda, yeah, there's lots of puzzles. So that would fit perfect. And I think that a game like this should probably just have its own little story going on contained inside of this one game. You know, I don't think we need a whole Lego branch of the Zelda timeline. I don't think that's necessary, but one Zelda game would be a ton of fun. I mean, who knows? Maybe they could bounce around, or maybe, you know, maybe bring all the cool stuff we like about all the Zelda games into one. I mean, maybe there would be some sailing. Maybe you can still turn into a wolf. Maybe they would bring everything together into one game and just give you the best of everything. That seems like a pretty Lego thing to do. So again, no evidence to say anything like that's happening, but it is something I definitely would like to see. Okay, so this last one is my favorite by far, and it's probably the one we're gonna spend the most time on in this video, but I'm still not gonna go over everything because one of our channel members, Brett, and I actually sat down. I brought this idea that I had up to him. He's a huge Zelda fan, and I brought this up to him at about, I don't know, 2:30 in the morning after our game night in the Discord, and he thought it was such a great idea. He just started rambling off all these ideas. I've been talking to him about this through Discord. He's given me a big list of ideas, and we're not gonna be able to go over all of it in this video because it's a ton. After you hear the idea, if you think we should make a full-on video about all of it, let me know in the comments because I would be more than happy to do that. But I did want to mention Brett in this video because a lot of these ideas did come from him. So I will link his Twitch below. He actually just started streaming as well. So make sure you guys go over there and follow him. Okay, so as we do this here, I'm gonna go ahead and present this to you guys as I presented it to him. Something we did not expect from the Mario 35th anniversary was Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. It was a very interesting take on a game that already existed. And I really think they could do something with a Zelda game. A very, I don't want to say unpopular, but not a huge Zelda game. I think they could take Link's crossbow training and do something very, very special with it. Now, for those of you who do not know what it is, I'm gonna go over it in a second, but I think Nintendo could have huge success with a bigger, more involved sequel to Link's crossbow training. For this video, we're just gonna go ahead and call this game Link's Crossbow Adventure. Okay, so very quickly, for those of you who don't know what it is, it was a very, very short game. I'm pretty sure going through the entire thing may take an hour. This game came out on the Wii after Twilight Princess. So the art style is just like Twilight Princess, and it actually takes place in the same areas. You actually go through and play some of the gameplay parts in the same areas that you do in Twilight Princess. So I'm gonna show you some pictures and possibly some video here, whatever I can find. But essentially, it came with this little gun. It's called the Wii Zapper. Your Wiimote setup goes inside of the little gun and it makes it into, I mean, essentially a gun. You got your trigger on the back, so it's supposed to feel like you're more at an arcade, playing a shooter game or something like that. So the game itself had you going through these certain scenarios. Some of them were on rails. Some of them you could move around different areas and try to find as many bokoblins as you could and, you know, shoot them all. And I'm gonna throw up some gameplay here so you guys have a better idea of what this actually is if you don't know. But what this game essentially was, it was kind of just like a proof of concept. This game came with the Zapper just kind of to show you how to use it. There wasn't really much else to it. It was pretty much, here's the targets, shoot them, that's it. As I said, super short game, but I think they could take something like this and make it into something absolutely amazing. My basic idea was to take maybe different parts of Zelda, different parts of different games. You could be on Loftwing, shooting things in the sky, obviously on horseback, maybe out at sea, in a boat, using a cannon. There's lots of on-rails types of situations that you could put into a game like this, along with a ton of other stuff that we talked about. But I think the best way they could do something with this game is to kind of make it like the first Hyrule Warriors. Kind of like a mashup of all the Zeldas into one, which I wasn't a big fan of in the original Hyrule Warriors. But Brett had an idea that I think is fantastic and makes all of it come together really well, and honestly I think it's too good of an idea for Nintendo to actually do. But in his version of the chaos that we kind of came up with, Vati is the villain, and he has come back to not only get rid of Link but also Zelda, Ganon, everyone. The entire Zelda timeline he is trying to wipe out of existence. So he is the only power in the universe. That's the basic idea of what he's saying. So in this storyline, that would kind of open up the time travel. You know, you're going through these different eras and different timelines throughout Zelda, trying to help everybody, you know, just defeat whatever monsters or bad things that he has laid into those places to try to take it over or completely destroy it. I think it's a fantastic idea. There's a lot more to it, but I think a game like that would sell so well for Nintendo. Imagine just a Zelda, but it's a shooter. I don't know about you, but I would be 100% in on that day one. And now my original idea with this, which I'm kind of starting to back off on a little bit, but I think it still should be an option. In the conversation Brett and I had about this, I talked about it being involved with the Labo VR kit. Now my initial idea with this was not a huge full-on game like what we're talking about here. So the Labo VR, you know, it already has some shooter games on it, so it would work well for that. And I think that should still be an option, a way to play if you want. But this just hit me, and I think it would solve all the problems we have with not only Skyward Sword coming to the Switch, but a game like this as well. I talked in my last video about what Skyward Sword could come with as a special edition. And earlier today, I completely realized how easy this would be on them if they did one thing. All they have to do is make the Wiimote compatible with the Switch. That's it. If they would do that, yes, they're still gonna have to put a regular control scheme into Skyward Sword for people on the Switch Lite or people who wanted to play in handheld mode, but all they have to do is just open up the Wiimote support. That's it. Then not only could you play a game like this with a controller if you wanted to, but you could play it with the Zapper. Maybe they could re-release the Zapper. So then at that point, Skyward Sword may come with an updated Wiimote with maybe some extra controls or some extra features. Maybe the wireless light bar that you need. I don't really know, but to bring all of this together, they could also include maybe the original Link's Crossbow training with Skyward Sword and that Wiimote. I don't know, just an idea. I'm sure there's several ways they could package it, but bringing another game onto the Switch like this would just give them a lot more incentive to actually make the Wiimotes work on the Switch. You know, it's not just one game anymore. Now there's two, and then the possibilities are really endless after that. Maybe they would go back and give Mario Galaxy Wiimote support as well. There's a lot of things they could do just opening up something like that. But guys, let me know what you think about all this. I know some of these are crazy, but hey, that's what we're doing, you know? It's fun to speculate about. That's why we make these videos. So like I said, links to everything down in the description. Thank you again to Brett for helping me work all this out. And if you guys want me to do a full video on what this game could actually be, leave me a comment. I do have a lot of other videos I want to get to in this series, so it probably will take a lot of people actually wanting it, but if you do, make sure you leave a comment, guys. That's all I got for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like. Make sure you are subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.